Hi there, it's Jeff Horseman with the Press Enterprise and PE.com, and welcome to this edition of Political Empire. And today we're going to be talking about the fundraising going on in the San Bernardino supervisor race between Neil Derry and James Ramos. And then we're going to be talking a little more about a lot of the outside independent money that's been just kind of pouring into the Inland Empire for these state and federal races. So first, Ramos rakes in the cash. San Bernardino supervisor candidate James Ramos dominated October fundraising, according to the recent campaign finance records. Now, the San Manuel tribal chairman took in roughly $58,000 last month, compared to $4,025 for incumbent Neil Derry. Now, as you may recall, Derry and Ramos are going to be facing each other November 6th, and a lot of the money has actually been going to Ramos in this race. So be an interesting outcome. Now I'm joined on the phone with our Washington correspondent Ben Goad, who is happy to say safe and sound after Hurricane Sandy, and he's been reporting for duty faithfully. And he recently helped write a story about a lot of this super PAC or this independent money that's been coming in for these state and federal races. Roughly $10 million has flowed into these contests, and in some cases, the amount of money dwarfs what the candidates themselves are spending. So, Ben, when we talk about like outside independent money, what do we mean, and why is so much of it being spent here?
Right. So there's really two different main kinds of spending on elections. There's the kind you were just talking about with the San Bernardino County Supervisor's race, where a candidate raises and spends money through his campaign account. And then there's the outside spending that Jim Miller and I wrote about this week. This is the spending done by the national parties, wealthy donors, industry groups. Much of it comes via the so-called super PACs, which are allowed to raise and spend unlimited sums of money on races, as long as they don't coordinate with the campaigns. This kind of spending has really been exploding in the current election cycle, and particularly in the Inland Empire. And the reason why is really pretty simple. There are lots of very competitive races because California recently had redistricting by an independent commission, which set out these competitive seats. So we're seeing this huge influx of cash into the area.
Okay. Can you talk a little more about, who's doing, you mentioned these national parties, but can you talk a little more about who's doing this spending and some of the candidates specifically in our area who are really reaping the benefits?
Yeah, well, the majority of the money is happening in the congressional races. There's been $3 million alone in the 36th congressional district. That's the race between Congresswoman Mary Bono Mack, a Republican, and her Democratic challenger, Raul Ruiz. The money spent there includes hundreds of thousands of dollars from the national parties through their committees, but also super PACs like Crossroads GPS, the group co-founded by Karl Rove, which is attacking Ruiz, and also a super PAC called Friends of Democracy, founded by the son of billionaire George Soros, they're trying to take Bono Mack out. We're seeing money from interest groups all over the spectrum, from the Humane Society to Planned Parenthood to the NRA giving in these races. And the largest single donor that we found in any area race is the National Realtors Association, or actually National Association of Realtors, which is backing Congressman Gary Miller over State Senator Bob Dutton in the 31st Congressional District. He's now spent over $2 million, so a big chunk of change.
Yeah. A lot of money, and we're definitely not hurting for attention. So anyway, Ben, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you're able to stay dry out there. And we want to thank you again for watching Political Empire. And as always, we're getting closer to election. We're going to have a lot of news, a lot of analysis on all the races going on here in the Inland Empire. So we hope you can join us for that. I'm Jeff Horseman, and thank you for watching.